Hi, everyone. My name is Sony Woodley, and I will be presenting on multimedia and games from Peters Chapter 8. In this chapter, Peters looks at the relevant findings on how media is best used for learning, what research can tell us about which media to use when, and general strategies for improving learning experiences with combinations of media. For this presentation, we will go over four main topics. What is multimedia? We will learn about video, animation, games, simulations, and virtual worlds, accessibility, and end with strategies. What is multimedia? In Chapter 2, it was discussed that people learn better from a combination of text and visuals than text alone. Richard Mayer calls this the multimedia principle. Multimedia expands the definition of visuals from illustrations and photos to interactive elements, video, and animation. It evolves from text as written words to include audio and narration. The addition of these elements to learning creates 3D worlds, chat rooms, discussion forums, podcasts, and the list is growing daily. Let's look at the section on video in Chapter 8. Peter uses Daniel Schwartz and Kevin Hartman's diagram to show some of the ways video can be used effectively as part of a learning experience. The four classes of outcomes are engaging, saying, doing, and seeing. Some of the genres are shown in examples on the screen. For engaging, an example of that are ads. For saying, an example is a commentary. For doing, an example is a demonstration. And for seeing, an example could be a tour. Now, let's move on to animation. Peters describes that when animating a procedure, a realistic video can be potentially distracting, allowing the learner to focus their working memory on what's relevant. For example, the animation plane can show how to lift a person. For example, you use two people, bend with your knees, etc. And you can find more of this on page 178. Let's switch to game simulations and virtual worlds. For this section, we will focus on the three biggest pitfalls of design for learning apps. 1. By relying too heavily on extrinsic motivation can be problematic if the game includes so many rewards and goals that the learner becomes more focused on collecting points than on actual learning. The second one, don't let your game location get in the way of the real world application of what you want the learner to know. And finally, not evaluating educational outcomes. Keep your learning objectives in mind. Does the app support them? Can users meet those objectives after using the app? Let's see what Peter says about accessibility. This section in Chapter 8 is short but powerful. As you are incorporating multimedia and games in your learning, continue to ask yourself, can you reach all your users? Peters highlights two questions. What if my learners are vision or hearing impaired? And what if my learners are using an older system? Consider these questions and brainstorm ways to overcome this obstacle. Let's move on to strategies for designing multimedia and games for learning. Strategies for audio. Sound is a design element that can impact learning in either a positive or negative way. Consider the four strategies here. Avoid background sound, use acoustic clues, watch for tangents, and embrace narration. Strategies for video and animation. The following 7 strategies will help you know when to use video and animation for learning. Stick to relevant video. Use still images for conceptual processes. Use animation for physical procedures. Segment video and customize it for the web. Let learners control pacing. Use motion sparingly. Use visual cues. And finally, strategies for models, games, and simulations. The following 8 strategies will help you keep learning at the forefront when designing models, games, and simulations for learning. Design games and simulations in alignment with learning goals. Find the game in your learning. Integrate learnability into the game. Let learners jump right in. Optimize the visualization of models for clarity and visual thinking. Keep it simple at first. Integrate the game into life. Embed feedback into the game. And use the advantages of virtual worlds. Well, that is my overview of Peter's chapter 8. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to answer the discussion questions posted to this discussion board post. Thank you.